What is the good word? Welcome to the Higher Call, the Christian Sports Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Satterfield. God is good all the time, my friends. Go Lake Nona Lions, go C's, go B's, go Pats, go Sox, and go Cougs. Throwing it over the wall to my co-host, Commissioner Mike. Mike, how are you?
Doing good, Dan. How are you today?
Doing really well. Thanks so much for joining, and just want to kick it out to all our listeners out there. Thanks for coming with us here for this bonus episode. And we are pausing our NFL division previews. Those will come out at their regular cadence, but we're doing some bonus episodes here. Really busy time in the sports world. So yeah, shout out to all those listening. Thanks a lot for being with us. Please like and subscribe. Looking at you guys, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, YouTube. Please share with a friend. Let us know your predictions. Let us know all that you want to see on the Higher Call. Leave us a review. We got a lot going on, and so yeah, a couple more NFL previews to go. We got one dropping soon, and really exciting time to be a sports fan and to be doing this podcast. So anyway, Mike, I just have one question. Where did you get your bachelor's degree from?
That would be the University of Houston. Go Cougs.
Let's go, baby. Go Cougs. Nothing I like talking about more. And you were my first, it's actually surprising, I've had several co-hosts. You're my first University of Houston fellow alum to be on the podcast. So welcome.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's how we met, so has a special place in my heart,
I know. I'm so happy I didn't go to some privileged land grant school like, Austin or Gainesville or College Station. No. We went to a nice, awesome city school, the University of Houston. And yeah. And so yeah, a lot of awesome memories from that. But we are going to start off with some talking about that a little bit, going into some memories and talking about Houston sports. And then we're going to talk about fantasy football. That's going to be our main segment, going to fantasy football. Mike is a commissioner of one of the 3 fantasy football leagues I currently find myself in, mostly comprised of Houston folks down in the church that we both attended in Houston back in the day. And yeah, so we're gonna kick it off here. All right, so Mike, do you have any stories about campus ministry or kind of what you remember about our time together?
Yeah, I was just kind of remembering back to the times. I think in campus it's such a fun time in life. Everyone is single. You're kind of not doing the married thing yet, and just able to have more time, I think, and spend time with your friends there. And so that's a lot of what I remember from the campus days. But it was really cool being on U of H on the campus there. I actually lived on campus. That was actually sort of rare for people.
Yeah.
Back then, at least, it was mostly a commuter school. And I guess in some ways it still is, but I think they're trying to change that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just it was a time when I was actually sort of drifting away from God in a lot of ways when I went to college. And had grown up going to church, but kind of just was doing the college thing, and obviously I didn't go to church at my old church when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great to just enter the ministry, the campus ministry there, and really get things back on track in terms of just learning about God and kind of hanging out with other people that were doing that same thing. So that was really fun and really, really cool time in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, we were you class of 2000 or class of 2001?
2001.
2001. Okay, so I was class of 2002. So you were just a year before me there. And yeah, it's we have I couldn't even. We have so many memories. Like we could talk literally. We could talk on a podcast for like a week and just go through them all. But one of the things I was thinking of was, do you remember the game Mafia?
Oh yeah, Mafia. Yep, we played that all the time.
Yeah, it's this, I guess, kind of card game, and you go around and you decide who's in the mafia and who's not, and you have to do a little bit of lying, I guess, at some point, or acting, I guess you could say. And some people in the campus ministry were getting kind of mad at like the good players because they're like, you're just coming in here and you're lying. Like you're being dishonest. This is against what the Bible says. We need to be honest with each other. And I'm just like, well, it's acting. It's not really lying. But what I do remember about you, Mike, is you were a really good what we call the mayor, right? Because you have to have
Mm,
in Mafia. This is what I tell everyone: you have to have a strong mayor. Otherwise, it just turns into this like crazy courtroom drama where everyone's accusing each other and arguing with each other, and everybody's 20 people are yelling at
yeah.
the same time. Like you got to have someone that can be like, all right, like this is what we're doing. This person's accused. This is what we're voting. Let's go. And when it's nighttime. And,
Yeah.
that was really your role. What do you attribute that to being such a strong mayor in Mafia?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just sort of like I kind of hate when you're part of the mafia, because I don't know if it's part of that, having to kind of act like you're, not in something, or kind of like that fake lying.
Yeah.
Um, but I always liked it when I was not in it and just kind of trying to pick out the people who were, and so I guess I don't know. I guess that kind of made me lean more toward the mayor. So,
Nice, nice, nice. I know you like things in order too. Like
yeah.
that's you. Yeah, you like things to be organized and all that. Speaking of which, you're a man of many talents. Something else that you do is you're a drummer, right? You drum for worship bands sometimes.
That's right. Yeah, and actually back in high school, I had a heavy metal band. So
Nice,
I,
nice.
I was a drummer all the way back into the high school days, but just in college hit, everyone kind of split up and went their own ways. So I actually left it for a while, just kind of put it to the side, and then slowly they started introducing music into the services, and they asked me to play, and so I've sort of been doing that for the last 25 years here or so. So,
25 years, no big deal.
yeah,
I'm gonna come.
yeah, I know what cowbell is.
Okay, and so there's the Saturday Night Live skit that everybody knows, right? But
Yeah,
but
uh-huh.
but we've had it's really weird. Like at my work and at our arts and ministry at church, like we're kind of getting into this like open mic thing where people come and show their talents and that kind of thing. And there might be an opportunity soon for me to play cowbell alone, just cowbell in certain songs and things. So any advice for me as kind of a more novice percussionist?
Well, you never can have enough cowbell. So so I'd say just go for it. Just be as loud as you can, and just rock it.
Yeah, explore the space. Explore the space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. One other memory I had, two of us, is watching a lot of NFL games. And I don't know if it was one season or two, but we resolved like every Monday night. Like and I think you were already married, like you had already graduated, but like every Monday night we are watching Monday Night Football together. And
Yep.
that was something that we did. That was something I always thought was really special.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I watched all the games even back then, just been a huge football fan, and it was so great to watch some of those with you, and just hang out together.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, so many memories, Mike. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. This is great. Well, anyway, I wanted to kind of go into, the perception of the University of Houston. I know you're mainly an NFL pro sports guy, and I'm more of a college guy, but as far as sports fandom goes, um, but living in Houston, right? You lived in Houston the whole time. Currently live in Pearland. How have you seen the perception of the University of Houston change in the city? It doesn't have to be sports related, but it's probably sports related. But since we were college students in the last 25 years.
Yeah, so I have seen the U of H sort of sports and just all the different football and basketball and programs kind of grow in stature over the years. I think one factor that's kind of going on in Houston is we have a series of pro teams. We
Mhm.
have the Rockets, we have the Texans. So in some ways, there's competition for sports.
Right,
And
right,
so people may value that over like a college game or something. Whereas if you have a college town, I mean, it's kind of all about that college, right?
right.
So I think that's a factor. But back in the '90s, when we were going there, I think U of H just kind of had a definitely a lower perception, just kind of
Yeah,
a school that was just not super into football. I think the basketball program was always kind of strong.
Yeah,
But football, I remember, I think I went to one bowl game or something, if I remember right.
yeah,
They had one bowl game back then, and
yeah,
I think we lost it. So, I mean, there just wasn't going on with much of the football program. But nowadays, the Cougars have been in a lot of bowl games, and they've won
yeah,
quite a few. So I think it's definitely coming along,
yeah.
and just being in the Big 12, just becoming a more relevant program. And you probably know better than I, but I think U of H is ranked in the top 25 this
They
year.
are. They are. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. That was not like back in the day, So
No, it was not.
def
Yeah, the AP poll came out this past week in preseason AP poll, and yeah, the University of Houston is number 23. It's so
mm,
for the football team, that's such a huge thing just to have that number next to your name as one of the 25 best. Even before the season starts, no one's done anything, right? But just to have that number is so huge for the visibility of the school. We know, you already said it, but when men's basketball comes out, they will have a number next to their name, probably in the teens or so.
hmm
And so yeah, both football and basketball ended last season ranked in the top 25, and they'll both start this season ranked in the top 25 for the major sports in college, which is football and men's basketball. I mean, I remember me, Joel, and Cisco 2 years in a row went to like the first game. It was either the first or second game of the season, both of them, and it was Rice, and we lost.
mm,
So like that's all you need to know
mm.
about the football program when we went to U of H is that we were
Yeah,
losing to Rice. If you're losing to Rice, like just okay, do we even have to play the other 10 games? Like we're done.
just go,
We're done. Like
just
we're just done. Yeah,
just go home. Yeah,
yeah, it's the water boy, Rob Schneider. Oh man, we suck again. Like that is what life is like when when you lose to Rice. Like you just can't lose to Rice. That's like sacrilegious University of
yep,
Houston thing. But yeah, I mean, you think about being in the Big 12, and we were like in Conference USA when we were when we went to school, and yeah,
yeah.
it really is exciting, and it's really been great to come visit a couple of times in the past few years. I think we've been to, gosh, we've been to a football game where we were attending the same one and we met up, and then we've been to a basketball game together when we played
Basketball.
Auburn at
Yep,
Toyota Center. Yeah, and then and basketball again. We Cincinnati. We went with Joel.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
that was a little while ago, but yeah, that's it's been great to just come to Houston a couple of times and connect with you and be able to see you there. And so yeah, it's really been great. So thanks a lot for that walk down memory lane. You never forget your college days, and being able to, like you already said it, but being able to hang out with a group of campus students in a campus ministry and have good, clean fun. It's the most good, clean fun you can really have, and it's such a great group that we were with, a really special group, and the school and the people, right? Really
yep,
what made it all special. But one way that we've been getting to know each other better too is in this fantasy football league. And so we're going to go into
yep.
fantasy football talk here next. But first, a word from our sponsors. Check out All Too Traveled on TikTok for short travel videos. You'll want to be out of the woods in your getaway car with the heartbreak prince of your wildest dreams. So calm down, shake it off, and visit All Too Traveled on TikTok when your schedule has a little blank space. That's All Too Traveled, ALLTOO Traveled on TikTok. And our other sponsor, if you're over 40 and running on fumes, check out Bill Ellis and the Father Figure Framework. Simple, faith-guided habits for strength, energy, and leadership at home. Learn more at BillEllis.coach. That's BILLELLIS.coach. The script says pause, back to the show. All right, Mike. So let's go. You're the commissioner, right? So what made you
Yep.
want to start this crazy fantasy football league that we're in?
Yeah, so back in the day, I think I started playing fantasy around 2016, if I remember right.
Hmm.
And just a couple of guys that I knew, mostly from church, just kind of got together and we started a little league. And we would kind of just trade kind of years being commissioner. So just from me, a guy named Johnny, and maybe a few other people I sort of forget, but it just kind of bounced back and forth. But there were only like 6 or 8 of us, so we had kind of a smaller league. And, in fantasy, when you have a smaller league, everyone's team is stacked, so your, worst players like, I don't know, uh, Emeka Buka or something, so
Yeah, yeah.
everyone has like just a stacked team. And so
Right.
I really wanted to have a more like competitive league that was actually a 12 team league,
Sure.
so that there's a little more depth, and you kind of hopefully it takes more knowledge to be able to win something like that. Although fantasy is totally random, you can do everything right and your guys get hurt, and
Yeah.
so you have a terrible season.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to kind of start just like a 12 team league.
Yeah.
And so I kind of spearheaded that, and been doing it now for 3 years. And I feel like the competition's pretty good in the league. So
Yeah, absolutely. And we recently went from a free league to a very low dues league. What can you go kind of behind the decision of that as commissioner to go from a free league to a pay league?
yeah, so ever since the first year, people had been asking me if we wanted to do a paid league and just kind of have a prize pool, for the first maybe second place winners. And I was kind of against it at first, just because I invited everyone to the league as sort of a free league, and
Yeah.
so I felt like if I then all of a sudden turned around and charged people for it, it might be just kind of weird. So
Yeah.
first 2 years we just kind of made it free and just for fun,
Yeah.
and but this year I thought, well, everyone's kind of been in the league for a couple years, and there are people that want to do that. So I was like, let's go ahead and give it a shot this time. And just made it kind of a low entry, just $25,
Yeah.
per team. But I thought we'd try it this year, and have that $200 first place prize, and 100 to second there. So
Nice.
yeah, we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah, I'm in three fantasy leagues. Yours is the third. The other two have been going on for even longer.
Mm.
The other two, one is from the one of the Knoxville churches that I attended.
Mm.
And the other one is it's a Facebook group. That it's Christian sports fans. So
Mm.
I
Nice.
guess it's kind of how this started, but this podcast started. But yeah, it's literally a Christian sports fan Facebook group,
Huh.
and so we have so from all over, and so yeah, and both of those I think one of them went kind of the way you did, but they're all pay leagues now. They're all extremely. I mean, guys, like you said, like 20 years is 25. I think one's 20,
Yeah.
one's 40. I mean, this is not for a whole
Yeah.
season. This is not a big deal. Which is good. We're fortunate that it's not. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy. I don't mind paying a little bit of dues and stuff like that. Now I have been invited to leagues that are like 100, right? 100
Mm.
buy-in, 150. And what to me, like once you get into three digits, it's like, I'm good. But one thing,
Yeah.
well, that's just my opinion. But one thing that I do really want to compliment your league on is even when it was free, it was still the league I wanted to win the most because our group chat is active. Like
Yeah.
people talk trash.
Yep.
It's just like how do you what would you chalk that up to? Because every other league I've ever been in, the group chat, most of them, I'd say like 90% of them, right? The group chat's just silent. It's just like, oh, someone won this
Mm.
week. Like, what do you think? Like your group chat is active all year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it spans from, just us being great friends as well.
Hmm.
So we all kind of know each other, and there are some guys in there that really like to talk, So for me, I'm not a huge big talker, especially last year. My team didn't do the greatest, and I couldn't say anything, But which I actually have to take a second and congratulate Dan, because he actually won it last year in our league,
Yeah,
and had that championship win. So great job there, man. That was really awesome. You did lots better than I did. So
thanks. Yeah, the last year the league is free. This has happened before, Mike. Like this is not the first where I win the league and it's free, and then the next season, oh, whoa, now we've gotten the Dan winning out of the way. We are going to become a pay league, so you actually win money now, and then I don't win. I don't even come close. so so be looking for that this year. I will shout out I feel like a lot of people don't get it. The name of my team is Sound the Blaze, which is a lesser known tradition at U of H, but every time we
Hmm.
score a point, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, there's this really annoying oil. It's like an oil alarm. Like if you watch Landman, you'll hear it. It's like and like it it's cool because they're running across the field and they do a whole celebration. But yeah, that's what it is from Sound the Blaze.
Oh,
Is the
cool.
Blaze, and that's what they say. Sound the Blaze. We're playing for keeps. That's what one of the rap songs about U of H says. But yeah, so yeah, that's where that name comes from. Cool. Well, yeah, it's really a great league. I've really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next season. So let's dive into the next season and get into some specifics here. Could you? Okay. Just so you know, let me set the table a little bit. I'm gonna release this episode right after we draft. Okay. So
Okay.
so 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 your secrets are safe for at least a whole season, right? Because you're so anything you say, I'm not gonna try to give away too much, but we can talk a little big picture here. So because people will not hear this until afterwards. So what's kind of your strategy here? Tell me about your overarching 10 sentence strategy with fantasy draft.
Yeah. I can get into it a little now. I did have some reservations because we're drafting Sunday and you're right next to me. So I
Are
was
you
like, how
11?
much? I'm two. I'm pick two.
Okay, what pick am I?
I think you're three there. So
I am. Oh, see, Mike. I'm happy we talked. I thought I was 12. I thought I was the snake. I must be this. It's another league. I must be the snake in the Facebook league. Okay, thanks.
yeah, yeah. No worries though.
Okay,
I mean,
now it
it's
completely
it's all
changes.
good.
Okay, cool. I'm three. I actually like this better. I'm looking at the thing and I'm
Yeah.
like, I do not want to be 12. Okay, cool. All right, go ahead. You're two.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I sort of have a strategy of, I feel like this year in particular, the running backs have been sort of pushed up.
Yeah,
So I feel like you need to get one, a minimum one, and probably two running backs pretty early. Like I'd say in the first three rounds. And so I'm sort of going with that strategy. And having picked two there, I'm probably going to land Bijan. So
yeah,
that's definitely like an anchor, running back.
yeah.
But in the past, I think some running backs had been, you could get still quality guys in the third, fourth, and there's that classic, like they call it the running back dead zone, where you hit some rounds like 5, 6, 7, that sort of thing, where there's guys with just big question marks, and sometimes that can be a big hit, and sometimes it can sink your team.
Right.
But I think partially because running backs haven't been really hurt a lot in like major injuries in the last year at least. I think that's caused some of the running backs to go higher. And if you look at sort of the back pocket of the first round, you have that like James Cook, Genty, Walker, Hampton, like all those guys are kind of pushed up to that 1-2 turn. And whereas maybe other years they might have been a little more maybe later in the draft. They've really been pushed up there. So I feel like, if you get two of those guys, that's just a solid footing to hit, your team for the year. Because there's so much wide receiver depth that you can fill that in then later. And we can get into like tight ends and quarterbacks as well. But yeah, I'd say that's the general strategy. Just go running
Yeah.
back early this year. And mostly because they've been pushed up pretty high.
I used to do that too. Really have that running back strategy. I would say, is it true? Correct me if I'm wrong. You're the commissioner, you know better. But are we going from non PPR to PPR this year?
Yes, it is
Okay.
PPR
Okay.
scoring.
Okay. So just for the novices out there, PPR means points per reception. So anytime wide receiver, running back, tight end, whoever catches a pass, it's some kind of fantasy point. It could be 0.5, 0.1. It's probably one for our team, for our league. But that does change the strategy some. Because you talk about stockpiling running backs, and yet every time these pass catchers are catching a pass, now it's 1 point. I mean, does that change your strategy potentially in some way, that you're going to take a wide receiver maybe, in the mid rounds more when you would take a running back before?
Yeah, it definitely I'd say pulls up the receiver value, because in what they call standard league, or like half a point per reception,
Yeah.
the running backs really kind of dominate, So
Right.
a couple of guys pushed for PPR 1 point per reception this year, and I felt like that was a good way to go because it does elevate the receivers a little more to the level of running back. But there are running backs that catch passes too. And that's kind of the best of both worlds. So they can still be pretty valuable even in PPR.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, it's so funny that thank you, Commissioner, for telling me where I'm picking. Because yeah, I guess I'm 12 in the Facebook group. Because three to me, like you, it, you put so much on your first pick, right? I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna be tough. We can start talking about quarterbacks. I mean, I will have a very hard time in any draft not picking Josh Allen. Like
Mm-hmm.
if he's there, because to me, Josh Allen, in my opinion, he is a tier to himself. The guy's big,
Mm-hmm.
he's durable, he gets stats, he has a new coach, and so like he played on Sunday in preseason week 1. He came in, threw like 5 passes, scored a touchdown, no problem. And I was having lunch with a guy here in Orlando when we were watching the highlights, and I was like he like none of the other quarterbacks are playing. Like he bullied his I mean he bullied his new coach into letting him play a series. And it's just like
Yeah.
that's just how he is. Like it's just like
Mm-hmm.
the guy's a gamer. It doesn't matter whether he wins, loses, whatever. And so it's just really hard for me to pass on that. And to say, okay, but then like I think about, I don't think Bajan's going to be there. I don't. I think he's going to go 1 or 2. Um, I'm not like Jamar Chase, right? Like that guy, I've had
Mm-hmm.
him before too. He's awesome. Like he's such a great receiver, and he was good even when Burrow got hurt. He was still catching
Yeah.
passes from whoever the terrible Joe Flacco or whoever was the Bengals quarterback. And and so I mean that's going to be, if both those guys are there, just know on Sunday night I'm going to be, this is posthumous, but I'm going to be having a hard time with
Mm-hmm.
that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, how do you kind of see the quarterback field?
Yeah. So, when you say, you wouldn't pass on Allen, are you talking about third round? Or
No.
because I don't know if he would make back to the fourth. But yeah, my strategy on quarterbacks is generally to wait a bit. Um, and I'm not going to argue with you. I think Josh Allen is in a tier of his own. He's the best quarterback. For fantasy, you want that rushing upside as well. Because those guys just can make the fantasy points totally score higher rather than just someone who kind of sits in the pocket. And he's got the touchdown upside now, and he's come along as a passer just throughout the years, and just he is the quarterback one,
Yeah.
But I would push back a little just to say that let's say you take Josh Allen in the third, you're skipping over like some great receivers there.
Yeah.
Like, Nico Collins maybe, or Rashee Rice, Olave, some of these guys that you're taking a quarterback. And so if my strategy is more to wait a few rounds on the quarterback, I generally like to target 7, 8 maybe for the quarterback. I love that tier of like Lawrence, Herbert, Prescott,
Yeah.
some of those guys as
Yeah.
like maybe a first quarterback, and take another one,
Yeah.
kind of later on.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, you can pair it with like let's say you get like a Nico Collins or a Rashee Rice in the third, and then you wait on your quarterback, and another team takes Josh Allen there. Well, let's say in your championship, Josh Allen scores like 5 points more than your quarterback. Like maybe he's got a 30-point day, and Lawrence can get you 25, but who you're pairing with Allen is you're missing out on some of those receivers. So you might be pairing like a Ted McMillan or a McLaurin, so a little bit lower tier receiver. Whereas the guy who picks Lawrence, he's getting that higher skill position. So
Yeah.
it's possible then that your skill position can outplay the other guy. So that's why I tend to wait on quarterback.
Yeah.
But in any week, anything can happen. And if Allen puts up 40 that day, you're probably going to win. So
Yeah.
I could see it both ways, but I
Yeah.
tend to wait in the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I had Josh Allen in one league last year, and it's exactly what you said. I mean, there were just weeks where like it's like, sorry, like thanks for showing up, but like yeah, he had even 50 sometimes. Where
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like like I win. Like it
yep.
doesn't really matter what everyone else does. But yeah, it's really interesting. There's been times that I also will literally, I'm not even lying, I will wait till round 10, round 11. I mean, if I'm sitting there and there's quarterbacks that I can live with, then
Hmm.
I just stockpile on the running backs and wide receivers and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna shoot shots here and see kind of what happens. I got a little more gun shy with that probably last season because I did pass over in later rounds quarterbacks that turned out really valuable, like Drake May. And I'm a Patriots fan. And I didn't believe in him at all, and that was a big mistake. And Caleb
Yeah.
Williams, I coming out of college, I was like, no, he's not. Like he's got all the sides, but he doesn't have it up in the head. And like, oh my gosh, he had an amazing year.
Hmm.
And so yeah, it's tough. I think you have to with your strategy of waiting on quarterbacks, you have to really have that kind of scouter's mentality of, you know, I see something like out of the three quarterbacks that are in the same tier, I'm going to pick the right one.
Yeah.
And it's how much confidence you have in that. Otherwise, you know, yeah, go early. But past Allen, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you're looking at, you know, they have guys like, you know, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, it really is. It's like I just feel like there's no sure bet. I will say Dak. You know, Dak Prescott. You know, he's not always on the best teams, but he's a gunslinger,
Hmm.
and he kind of gets stats like, and so he's kind of, you know, a little bit underrated there. I feel like kind of every year. Are there any running backs you're looking at because of PPR that, you know, these guys could catch out of the backfield a little bit more? I had one name in mind that I'll ask you about, but are there any that come to mind for you?
Yeah, well, maybe just because I'm focusing on it, but I think Bijan had
Yeah,
a number of catches
he
last
did.
year.
Yeah,
And yeah, that can really propel him into the stratosphere, you know, if you get the pass catching too, and just such a large, you know, uh, workload already.
yeah,
And I think Gibbs catches some, but obviously, you
yeah.
know, these guys are at the top of the draft, you know, they're
Right,
the
right.
top. I think you know, maybe like a CMC could be a good pass catcher.
Yeah,
I think HN, you know, caught a lot. Trying to just think through who are some other like known for pass catching. But nothing else really is coming
yeah.
to
No,
mind at the moment.
yeah,
But but yeah, I think that can really elevate a running back, you know, because you
yeah,
do get those extra points for it.
yeah.
So you could target guys like that do have some higher catches as well.
Yeah, let's go to CMC, Christian McCaffrey. You know, had a good season last year. The year before got injured. I mean, are you scared about him? Would you be scared to draft him versus, you know, other related players, or do you think his kind of health problems are behind him? Because I mean, when he was cooking, he was cooking. I mean, it's like,
Yep.
but there's a risk there. Like, how do you kind of see that?
Yeah, you know, this might be because of last year. I'm a little tainted,
Hmm.
but I did get burned on some injuries, you know, and
Hmm.
so now you can't ever really predict an injury. I don't think it's smart to draft based on that.
Yeah.
But when guys are getting older and there's an injury history, it just does kind of put up a red flag to me.
Hmm.
And, you know, I have seen some reports already that like the coach is saying McCaffrey has some tightness or something. And you're just like, oh man, here we go again, you know?
Right. Right.
So to me, it would be a bit of a risk for McCaffrey. He can, you know, win your league. I mean, it's the kind of dude that, you know, can put up tremendous points and just basically win a league, but
Right.
it can also kind of backfire.
Right.
Luckily, I'm picking at the front of the draft, so I don't have to worry about it this year. But yeah, if I was there, that you know 8, 9, 10 pick, I would I might be looking at like a Cook or Genty if I was going running back over McCaffrey, just because I know the injury history and
Yeah.
trying to be a little more safe this year, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
with some of the picks.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I guess we'll touch on tight end. Any, I whatever. Any I you with me, I was just like my last three picks are usually tight end, defense, and kicker. Like it's like yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But do you have any strategy or anything with tight end?
I tend to target tight end fairly early, I'd say.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you know, if you're just kind of playing with some of the later rounds, the same talent level might not be there, but you know, this year the big name is Brock Bowers. You know, he's
Yeah.
a lot of times going in the second round, and there's a lot of talk about the offense is going to run through him. You know, and the
Hmm.
Raiders they have a new OC there with Kubiak that came over from the Seahawks. But we haven't seen it yet, and so
Right.
I think there is a slight little bit of risk there where it's like people are panning out just Bowers is going to be awesome. The offense is going to run through him. But what if we get to week one and, um, I don't know, Kubiak's trying to get other people involved, like maybe a Trey
Yeah.
Tucker or, Ginty or whatever. And so I just think that's a lot to pay for a tight end.
Yeah.
And then, again, it's sort of like the quarterbacks, but like let's say Brock Bowers gets 20 points one week and on a team, you're playing and then you pick a tight end, maybe it's late in the later rounds like a I don't know, like a Brendan Strange or Hunter Henry and he gets 15. That's like a
Yeah.
5 point difference
Yeah.
and you're taking Bowers in the second round,
Yeah.
it just seems like there might be ways to get that same kind of production from just later round tight ends.
Yeah.
And that's what I tend to do. But sometimes I'll take some of the mid tier guys, like
Mhm.
maybe a Kraft, Tucker
Yeah.
Kraft. I had him last year actually.
Yeah.
Got hurt, but great player. Warren I think is in there and sort of the middle rounds, like a Laporta, those kind of guys that sometimes I don't want to wait till the very end of the tier. But some of those guys I think have some great value,
Yeah.
and you're not spending a second round pick on.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And do you have any, like, I guess maybe teams that you stay away from or like divisional beliefs? Like I have a couple of these that I'll share, but do you have any of those that kind of go into your kind of selection mindset?
Hmm. You just mean like division matchups or something? Or
Yeah. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, this
yeah,
team is in this divisions and so XYZ.
not so much on divisions, but I do look a lot at the last 3 weeks of fantasy, which are
Mm-hmm.
generally the playoffs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a really tough matchup in week 17,
Mm-hmm.
then I tend to fade those players. So like this
Okay.
year it's
That's
the
good.
Packers.
Yeah.
They're playing the Texans in week
Right.
17,
Right.
and which is arguably, the best defense. So like if you're, in the championship round and let's say you have like a Josh Jacobs or a Christian Watson or, someone that's really been getting you a lot of points throughout the year, and then you go up against the Texans. I
Yeah.
mean, is that guy going to put up, 8 points that week?
Right. Right. Right.
So I do look at stuff like that, and I feel like some of those matchups can cause you to like fade certain players, and like this year, I'm kind of more down on the Packers because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But they can also get you there, and you can sub in other guys if you have them on your team. So
Yeah.
you don't have to totally, play it that way. But I just feel like when you need them the most, you don't want to be playing the Texans that week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll share two. One specific for this. One specific, and this is more like divisional beliefs. One is specifically for this season is the NFC West.
Hmm.
I just think just just got nasty defenses everywhere.
Hmm.
You look at the Rams, you look at the Niners, you look at the Seahawks, the Cardinals stink, but that's 75% of the league right there. And like
Yeah.
those guys are going to go into nasty defenses. And these divisions, right? They're playing about 38% of their games against 10% of the league because they play 6 games. And
Hmm.
so, a lot of their games are against these teams. And so just choosing offensive players from the NFC West, I'm going to be a little gun shy there. The other thing
Hmm.
is also the NFC West. They're doing a lot of those foreign trips, right? They're going to London, they're going to Mexico,
Hmm.
and so
Right.
to me, those I shave off some points there. The other
Hmm.
thing is not to this year, but weather. When I'm selecting a defense can play a factor for me. Before the NFC North, before Minnesota got a roof, before Detroit got a roof, you're talking about you just mentioned Green Bay, but Green Bay, Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit, like all these like these cold weather cities, like give me those guys in December. Like
Hmm.
give me that defense in December, going up playing, playing in Minnesota in December. Like yeah, go. Like you know what I mean? Like I really I really used to like doing that, and then they took it away. So it's kind of the AFC North now because they still play outside Pittsburgh, Cleveland,
Hmm.
Baltimore, and Cincy. And so not as cold, right? Not as cold as Green Bay, but it still exists some. But yeah,
Right.
I try to think about that with divisions. It's like, well, this is in this division, and so. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's so interesting. Fantasy football strategy is really interesting. But I
Yep.
did want to get your prediction based on, besides you and me, and maybe you can think of their team name or their first name, but who do you think's really steadying up this year, and who's kind of the guy that you think might take the fantasy crown this year in our league?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there are definitely a lot of contenders. I feel like everyone, is definitely has knowledge in football and just has played for many years and all. I guess the teams that I kind of might scare me a little bit just from the picks and all is Jonathan's playing, he's picking first.
Okay,
So and then you're in third, so that's definitely a spot to I think
it's
that
hard to
the
repeat.
yeah, true. But I think the early picks do have, because you have shots at the better players in the
Yeah,
beginning. I think they do have a slight advantage, but
yeah,
some of those teams in the back, they could get, two stud running backs, and one of them could be a league winner, and
yeah,
so, but actually, my daughter Lauren, she joined the league last year and
yeah.
did pretty amazing.
Did
So
great. Yeah, yeah,
I'm a little nervous on what she's gonna do. And then there's Darren Brown.
yeah. Absolutely.
He won it the first year, so he's
Yeah, yep,
definitely a contender there. And
yeah,
I think everyone has a shot, but those are some
yeah,
of the ones that I might be eyeing this year.
yeah. Well, Mike, one more question too. Putting you on the spot here, but in the real NFL, your AFC, NFC champs, and your Super Bowl picks. Well, how do you see it right now?
Oh man, yeah, I've been so focused on players and fantasy that I haven't really thought about teams. But I would say, let's say AFC. I think you probably need to look at the Bills,
Yeah.
and if everyone stays healthy, the Bengals I could see
Hmm.
being in there.
Yeah.
With a new addition of AJ Brown coming to the Patriots, I mean, him and may really, connect. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they could, build on last year and
Yeah.
really take a step forward. And Denver with that defense and Sean Payton's system,
Yep.
I think those are kind of the teams that I would say are the maybe the kind of most in the running.
Gotcha.
But I think the Bills are looking pretty good in the AFC. NFC, I think I would probably lean toward the Bears
Okay. Yeah. Exciting
starting
team.
to take another step
Yeah.
forward.
Yep.
Um, and maybe the Lions.
Yeah.
I feel like with Gibbs, they're always
Yeah.
have a great shot at it.
Yeah.
The Rams
Yeah.
just have a tremendous offense every year,
Yeah.
and and Seattle, Seattle is kind of a question mark because they lost Kubiak and all. I don't know exactly what's gonna pan out there, but I
Yeah.
would probably put them, especially with their defense and all, up there.
Yeah.
But maybe leaning more toward the Rams in the NFC.
Yeah. Awesome.
Totally on the spot. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Bills and Rams. I mean, I've done other NFL divisional previews, and Bills and Rams are kind of coming out of the woodwork here. So for what folks like,
Mm.
Myles Garrett with the Rams, big story. But the
Hmm.
but the Bears are a really exciting team too. I'm looking forward to watching them play. Caleb Williams really grew a lot, and also, hey, can't talk about the Bears without shout out to Case Keenum. He is.
Oh
Did,
yeah.
did, did you see him? You probably didn't, but did you see him on? This is what the preseason is all about. It's our third string quarterback, the timeless Case Keenum played one quarter against the Browns and had 2 touchdown passes.
Oh man.
So that guy is
Oh
ageless. Like, let's go, Coug.
yeah. Wow.
NCAA passing touchdown leader to this day, and he's still in the league making millions of dollars, undrafted.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I actually told his story in another podcast, so I'm not allowed to go too much. But yeah, I'm so proud of that guy, man. He's like my
Yeah.
favorite NFL player ever.
I'm gonna go watch that game now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Third quarter. Go to third
Yeah.
quarter.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, Mike, thanks so much for coming on. Another funny story too. I'm always doing, fantasy football with my kids and stuff. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Well, this is Mike's league that I'm working on now." They're like, "Who's Mike?" I was like, "Do you remember in Houston when it was like 20 degrees and windy and we went to Longhorn and Pearland and we met a guy
Yep,
and his
yep.
wife and his daughter?" They're like, "Yeah." Like they totally remember. For some
Oh,
reason,
cool.
that's like a core memory in our family. It's like they're like, "The daughter was really nice. Like everybody was really nice." It's like, "Yeah, that's them." It's like, "Oh yeah, that's." But yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, I love that time. It was a great time.
it was. And Mike, it's always awesome to connect with you, whether it's via the fantasy football interwebs or in person. I'm sure we'll do it in person again soon. I'll be in H Town sometime. But Mike, again,
Awesome.
thanks so much for doing this. You were great. You were great. Was it as bad as you thought it would be coming on a podcast?
No, I mean, I really like what you're doing here, and I didn't really know what to expect, but it sometimes it puts you on the spot there, but it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. So,
Awesome. Thanks again, man. As
yep,
we as we wrap up today, remember this. Whether you're playing, coaching, cheering, or even officiating, every person on that field is made in the image of God. Yes, even the referees, even the bad ones. Thanks again to our sponsors, All Too Traveled on TikTok and Father Figure Coaching with Bill Ellis for supporting the higher call. If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another sports fan. And we'd also love to hear from you. Email us anytime at highercallpod@gmail.com with your questions, topic ideas, hot takes. If you want to be a co-host and get in the hot seat, or just to connect with other like-minded sports fans, that's highercallpod@gmail.com, just like the title of our podcast. Until next time, keep your eyes on the game, keep your heart on God, and thanks for listening to The Higher Call.